Hello, everyone, and welcome to Watching Twin Peaks for the First Time.
Okay, we're getting close to the end, and I'm going to feel sad not being able to say I'm watching it for the first time. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, you get to the end, and you can't watch it again for the first time, and that sucks.
Though it feels like I'm watching it again for the first time.
Yeah.
But yes, I know it's but you could
I don't get to go
what
back.
you could do is you could wait 25 years.
And then you forget.
And then that stretches it out.
Way to go.
You just pause. Don't finish watching
Oh,
it.
no, that's
Stop
a terrible
here.
idea. No,
wait
I
25
could die.
years.
You could die. If the show's taught me anything, anyone could die at any point. That's all.
That's a valuable lesson. And before we get into more lessons, let me remind you that we are talking about Twin Peaks. We're talking about Twin Peaks: The Return.
And we're spoiling things.
Yes, spoiling things.
Get out of here.
So we're talking about part 9 and 10. So if you have not seen it, you shouldn't watch it.
Don't watch it.
Come back and watch us after you watch it, because we're trying to talk about what it means.
Yeah.
And we're also getting Mackenzie's first impression.
And so we'd spoil a lot of things, and you would just be confused, and it would not be
But if you've already seen it, then you're going to like watching it, because we probably come up with theories that are ridiculous.
Yeah, and
wrong.
you're like, why did you
And
think
Mackenzie's
that?
trying to guess what's going to happen next and things like that. So let's get to it. So in part 9 of The Return, they are taking, if I remember correctly, they are going to Buckhorn, right? They sort of detour. They're in air. They as in Cole and Albert and Tammy and also Diane.
Yes.
And then we see that Diane is getting a text. It looks like she's getting a text from Mr. C.
She got a text from Mr. C.
And it looks like she has replied back to Mr. C.
Yeah.
So
no, that's at the end of episode 10.
That's true. But what's going on with that?
Yes. So she gets a text after she gets off of the plane, because her phone is blocked in the air.
Mm-hmm.
And she gets a text, and it says something from Cooper. I can't remember the exact wording, but it's like, dinner table, lively. The dinner table is lively. It's
like the dinner conversation, yeah.
I guess the dinner conversation is lively without her. You see all 3 of those people without her at the dinner that they're at, because they're at the same restaurant.
You mean when they're out on the town?
10, yeah.
Albert partners up in episode 10.
Love that.
With the the lady from the coroner morgue forensics lady.
Yeah, they got the same job.
Nice
so it
combination. She's I like they kind of flirt together.
Yeah, they're like, we're talking about dead bodies.
When did he lose the marbles?
When did he lose the marbles? The cat eye. When the dog got the cat eye.
He's like, touche. Yes, nice. So do you think that Diane is a bad guy, a double agent, a triple agent?
A doppelganger?
Is she a doppelganger?
I don't know if she's a doppelganger. I don't think so. However, she does seem opposite of what her character, I imagine, was before Cooper. So maybe Cooper took her into the Black Lodge.
Mr. C or Dale Cooper?
Mr. C.
Mr. C took her into the Black Lodge.
She's in the lodge. I don't know. Probably not.
Okay.
That's a wild guess.
So
I think she's probably a good guy, but I don't know.
It's interesting because she was in theory she was alone with Mr. C in the prison. So you'd think that if she was on his team,
but she could be like from the Black Lodge doppelganger, but hates him, because we don't know exactly what the Black Lodge does.
Yes.
You know what I mean? We don't know what the doppelgangers. What are their rules? Like, are they on a team together? Or are they like, ooh, gross? I hate you because the other me really likes the other you. So we're the opposite.
Okay.
So I don't know.
All right. So
probably not.
Not doppelganger.
I don't think so. I think she's good, and I don't know that she sent the text.
You don't know that she sent that text.
That she sent the text back.
So okay. So
they come in and they're like,
they said, oh, she sent this text about Hastings, but you're not sure that she sent that.
I don't think she did.
Okay. So we're waiting to see what's going on with Diane. Let's see. We got a couple new bad guy henchman characters, Hutch and Chantal, or Chantal. They're going to a place. Ray was driving them to a place called the farm. Yeah. And I don't think this is actually the farm.
Is what Ray was talking about.
Yeah, but because Ray wasn't there.
Yeah.
But they go to a place that's actually, homes with farmers.
Yeah. And they kill farmers.
Yeah, Mr. C asks Hutch, where is everybody? Where are the farmers? They're sleeping out back, and they're dead.
And they're just dead. Or they're asleep, and they're very odd. To be fair, we didn't see any blood or indication of them being dead.
I think that since they're
But
bad
the way
guys,
they were, like, laying did not look alive.
So again, Mr. C and his cronies are leaving a trail, very destructive trail. We did find out some things going on in as far as Dougie, or actually Dale Cooper, but who's now in the role of Dougie Jones.
Yeah.
And his boss mentions to the police that Dougie supposedly had a car accident before I met him, and so he sometimes has these faces.
Yeah.
Which now makes a little more sense as to why so many people tolerate him.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, that's fine. But I was wondering if he was born 12 years ago.
I think so, because the cops also talk about how there's nothing.
He's nothing before
97.
Yeah.
There's nothing. All right, so 20 years ago he probably blinked into existence.
Yeah.
That's the impression I get. We have this funny little exchange. You mentioned that the boss was opening and closing his fist.
Oh yeah, and then talking to the police, which is what
Lil in Fire Walk with Me.
I can't remember what that means.
Opens and closes her fist. And it would be interesting if it's something, because remember, one of the clues is like you're going to have trouble with law enforcement.
And is it that?
So we'll have to go back and check Lil's little code.
But I think it's something to do with
because that'd be funny. Because on the one hand, he's a retired boxer, so he might just be like, I'm not happy with you guys. Or it could be both. Like a little
clue to
Fire
us.
Walk with Me clue.
Yeah.
So there's a fun little moment with our friends Lucy and Andy picking out the red or the beige chair.
Oh my god, yes. They're like, I like the beige chair, Andy. And Andy goes, but I like the red chair, Lucy. But I really like the beige chair. Oh, I'm sorry, honey.
You can
have the beige chair. Buys the red chair.
She buys the red chair. Does that mean that because she feels like, he's so sweet that he gave in,
he gets the
I'm
going
to give it to him?
Yeah.
It wasn't like she wanted the red chair all along.
I think I don't think she wanted the red chair all along, because I think she actually wants the beige chair.
And then in another red chair is this secret little message.
Yeah.
And we get to see Mrs. Briggs.
Oh, yeah. She didn't have scissors this time.
No? And what did you think of this?
It's pretty cool. I actually really liked everyone's acting in that scene.
Mm-hmm.
It was very good. It was very suspenseful and also very sweet.
Yes.
Like, they're just like, whoa, there's going to be a clue in this chair, but they're also like, Major Briggs knew and he loved his son so much that he knew where his son was going to be.
Yeah.
And how to train him for this, basically.
So basically, before the Major disappeared, or was supposedly killed, but seems to have disappeared, he said, these 3 people are going to arrive.
These people.
Show them this now.
Yeah.
And then Bobby Briggs also knows how to open it.
Because his dad showed him how.
Yeah.
And then Bobby Briggs also knows where he's supposed to go, because that's where him and his dad played. Which I
wrote it down.
The Jackrabbit Castle. Right?
Jack Rabbit's Palace. And so it's a certain amount of yards away from the Jack Rabbit Palace.
Yes.
And a certain day and a certain time of day.
Yeah.
And I think they said 2 days.
2 days, yeah.
So I don't know if that means that you can go to either day, or you're going to go there.
You're going to go there and
blink
stay
out
the
of
whole
existence
day.
and then come back.
I think probably going to stay the whole day.
Yeah. So what do you think's going to happen when they go there? Assuming they get to go there.
Bobby's going to be able to show us around and be like, oh, look at all this stuff.
In the woods?
Okay. And he's going to take us to the place, and then they're going to feel like, oh man, I don't think it's here. And then it's going to open up or something. And then they're probably going to be missing for the next day.
Okay. So you think they're going to go into a lodge?
I think they're going to go into a lodge.
All right. All 3 of them?
No. I think it's just going to be Bobby.
Just Bobby into the lodge?
Because his dad talks about being in a White Lodge and hugging him. At the White Lodge, so I think that they're actually going to meet there.
So I think it's
actually going to be Bobby meeting his dad in the past and hugging him.
Okay, that'd be pretty awesome.
That would be cool.
We see Johnny Horn again. He's very briefly in this episode in part 9, running through the house, and he hits his head.
Oh my god! I thought he died.
We thought he died.
We were so worried.
And then he shows up again in parts 10.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that later.
He hits his head against a picture of a canoe.
So and makes a pretty big hole in the wall.
Yeah.
So we get back to William Hastings, who is crying in the police interrogation room.
I feel bad for him.
He's very sad. His wife has been murdered, and his lawyer,
and his girlfriend has been murdered.
His girlfriend has been murdered. His mistress.
His lawyer's arrested for it.
Right? We think that he and Ruth, because they were going to go to the Bahamas.
Together, yeah. I would assume.
Now when he said the Bahamas, you looked at me like the Bahamas.
Yeah,
and
that's where.
Philip Jeffries?
Yeah.
No, he's in Buenos Aires.
Same thing. Are you telling me those aren't the same thing?
They're the exact same place.
Yeah, they're the same thing.
Same.
What are you talking about?
They're not the same place.
Where's British?
Wait. Buenos Aires is in South America in Argentina.
Mm-hmm. And where's the Bahamas?
That's an island in the Atlantic.
And is it close?
Not really. It's like weird. It's like
do they speak Spanish?
California and Hawaii.
Do they speak Spanish?
I don't think so. I think English is the primary language in the Bahamas.
Really?
I think so.
I know more about the Bahamas. I know nothing about the Bahamas. Anyways.
So he's William Hastings is confessing or whatever, admitting.
He's like,
he's answering the questions.
Yeah. Not in realistic
Agent
ways.
Preston.
Yeah.
Talking about his blog.
Yeah.
And this is fun.
His blog sounds kind of cool.
Well, I think his blog is a lot like the many Twin Peaks blogs.
Yeah.
That are out there with people like, here's what this means.
Here's what it means.
Yeah. So they
like us.
Yeah. Exactly. So they have been trying to figure out how to go into what they call the zone. Yeah. Which I think is
probably a lodge.
A lodge or a waiting room kind of place. And so they have talked about, like, if you have the right coordinates. Yeah. And the right time and place, you can cross over there.
Oh, so like what Major Briggs left for his kid?
Right.
All right.
Yeah. So it seems that they've met Major Briggs. Mm-hmm. And do you remember what he talks about? He's a little vague about what happened.
Yeah. He says, like, he flew up into the air.
Major Briggs.
Yeah, Major Briggs flies up into the air.
And then
his head goes
into the air.
And he's like, it was beautiful. Yeah. I've never seen anything like it. Beautiful. I've never read anything like it. You wouldn't understand. You weren't there. He's so mad about that, too.
You weren't there.
You weren't there.
I know. He's acting like she doesn't believe him. She's just like,
I'm just listening.
I'm fascinated.
But I feel like he's not trying to explain what happened. Mm-hmm. I feel like he's trying to convey the beauty, but he just can't. Yeah. He's like, it was so beautiful. Yeah. It was like nothing I've ever seen.
Well, I think
nothing I've ever read.
The impression I get is that there are two things simultaneously happening. Yeah. One of them is
Ruth
the
many
people that are, I think, killing Ruth.
Yeah.
And attacking him and saying, "What's your wife's name?" Sylvia. Yeah. And I think kind of at the same time, unless there's a before and after, but he described the bad stuff. Right. And then he was talking about the major stuff.
How beautiful it was.
So again, time is out of joint.
Well, that kind of coincides with my like split person. Yeah. 2 lodges, just 1 lodge. Yeah. Kind of thing.
So there's something beautiful that's happening.
There's something beautiful and there's something terrible. And I think he says there's 3 people, and he's like, there's so many. Yeah. So I think the 3 people must be those convenience store lumber guys. Right. And then they're just multiplying because we've seen them do that before.
Kind of walking around. Yeah. Oh, we haven't talked about this. So in the Major's stomach is Dougie's ring. So what's going on with that?
That's interesting. I think that in some way maybe Major Briggs helped create Dougie. Maybe intentionally or non-intentionally.
Oh, okay. So
he was able to help.
So
maybe Dougie's a good thing.
Gotcha. So even though Dougie has been manufactured and it seems to be part of Mr. C's plan to trick the lodges and Dale Cooper.
Because he's trying to kill Dougie. People are trying to kill Dougie.
Well, I don't think. Well, here's the thing. I'm under the impression that people haven't been trying to kill Dougie before. Yeah.
I mean,
he's been in trouble with like the money stuff. But that people aren't trying to kill Dougie until Mr. C says, "Hey, on such and such day, go buy this house, go kill this guy." Yeah. So I think that Mr. C has manufactured, at least in part, the Dougie,
put him in there, and then we'll kill him.
But then it's an interesting idea that you have that maybe the Major in some way has influenced influence that by taking away something. It's also interesting when we think of the giant because he takes a ring from Dale Cooper. So it could be a White Lodge thing.
Right.
It's strange to put the ring inside the Major, for a White Lodge kind of thing.
But I also feel like Major Briggs might have eaten it.
Maybe.
I don't know. I feel like people should eat more things. I don't know. Ever since we saw like them eat the corn, I'm like, yeah, we should. I want to see more of.
They eat a lot of strange things in this show.
They do.
I think this is a random side plot, but Jerry Horn is still in the woods.
His foot isn't his foot.
Yeah, his foot's talking to him.
I don't think that's real.
Or a foot is talking to him.
A foot.
Yeah. So is he still high, or is there something supernatural happening?
I feel like my guess about like we're gonna see him in the woods some more and nothing's really gonna happen is kind of right. I feel like it's not much is gonna happen.
Gotcha.
I did love the stunt when he he held on to his own foot and then he threw himself. That was impressive.
Yes.
That was pretty cool.
And then if I'm not meshing the episodes, towards the end of the episodes when we're at the bar, we see
the woman with the rash?
Yeah, we see two girls talking to each other. They mention something about like a zebra and a penguin.
Yeah, penguin.
And which are both animals that are just black and white.
Yeah.
And the one blonde girl is scratching that rash.
Yeah, that rash looked bad.
Yeah.
Black and white and red all over.
And she couldn't hold down a job.
No, she's flipping
black
burgers.
And white and red all over.
Yeah. Like a penguin in a blender.
Yeah.
That's what like a zebra in a blender.
Yeah.
I don't know.
A newspaper because it's red all over. Yeah.
Well, I was thinking about the
yours is a gross one.
Anti-joke to that one.
Gotcha.
What else? I don't know. They were talking about flipping burgers.
Yeah.
And she just
this
started
is the point
over there.
When my wife was watching it with us and is like, there's too many characters. I can't remember all these characters.
She's kind of right.
Too many characters.
It's good though.
Well, what I like is seeing a glimpse of because there are different ways of doing like a reunion show where it's like, let's get the whole gang back together.
Yeah, and they're gonna do everything together.
And they've gotten many people back together, but even the ones that they have, like a lot of the like Norma, Nadine.
Yeah, they're not in
it. They're in it just a little bit.
Yeah.
And so if the creators, David Lynch and Mark Frost had wanted to, they could have, like any of the other new characters, they could say like, no. Well, let's put in more Shelley Norma scenes or something like that. And they're not doing that. And by in a way, we're sort of getting more of a glimpse of what Twin Peaks like now.
Yeah. What the world is
and just kind of seeing these different people with these different lives going on.
I actually really like the new characters for the most part. I don't like Richard.
Well, we're going to talk about now. Let's talk about
him.
We can start talking about him now because he's near the beginning of part 10, where he shows up at Miriam's. Bless you.
Thank you.
He shows up. He shows up at Miriam's little trailer. Nice little trailer.
She does a really nice job of keeping it clean.
I like Miriam so much. She's the one that leaves the big tip.
She works with kids.
Yeah.
And she has a little angel with blonde hair outside of her door.
So she represents to me one of the many good souls, one of the many good people in Twin Peaks that is then trampled on by something that's not only evil, but sort of ignorant and stupid.
Dumb. Like there's no point.
Yeah.
Like there's no point.
Yeah. So it looks like Richard has killed her by going in, beating her up, and then
he sends his bad cop friend to get the letter.
Yeah, I can't remember his name. Do you? I just call him Officer Dork.
Yeah, I don't know.
Deputy Dum Dum.
They say his name, but I just think, I hate this guy.
So you pointed out that she does have an angel.
She does have an angel.
What is is it a doll there?
No, it's like a Christmas decoration.
It's Christmas decoration.
Because she has her little Christmas decorations up. Which I actually kind of like. They look nice.
Yeah.
Like her little place looks nice.
Sad.
I'm sad for her. And she's probably dead.
She's probably dead.
Or in the hospital. I don't know where a lot of people are. Like anytime you see someone in peril, you're like, they're dead.
Yeah.
They're probably dead.
We still don't know what happened to Leo.
We don't know what happened to Leo or Audrey.
We don't know about Audrey.
We have no idea what happened to Audrey.
We did learn in this episode that Richard is apparently the grandson of Benjamin Horne.
That doesn't mean it's Audrey's child.
Well, I don't know that Benjamin Horne has he has Johnny.
I'm just saying Johnny could have gotten out.
So you think that Johnny found a girlfriend or something like that?
Something more nefarious, maybe?
Okay.
I don't know.
So if like Johnny was involved in sexual assault.
Yeah.
Here's why I don't think that is because Richard's not the kind of guy to pay his respects to his father anyway.
But I think Richard...
You would think that Richard would make some
side
comment about it.
But I also felt like he would have made some snide comment about, like, hey, Uncle Jerry, I don't know.
Yeah.
So they didn't really tell us either way. That's my whole theory of, like...
They didn't.
They didn't tell us.
Yeah. So we don't know who Richard is and exactly how he's related to people like Audrey.
Yeah.
My theory is that... Because they did mention that Audrey was in a coma.
Yeah,
so Audrey, said from that.
Pregnant.
So pregnant with.
I have a child. And
with Billy Zane's character.
Yeah.
Okay.
And which then he does have a child.
That's right.
If that works out, that's actually kind of fun.
I have a child.
I have a child. And then maybe she's like dead after or alive a little bit after.
I don't know.
I don't know where she is. I feel like she should be in the show.
Where are you, Audrey?
Audrey! Oh my god, if she's still at One-Eyed Jack's, like she ended up back at One-Eyed Jack's and we're just like,
I thought
I don't know where she is.
All of season 3 is a dream while Audrey's at One-Eyed Jack's.
Audrey's just really high.
Let's see. So the Fat Trout manager who's playing his little guitar.
He's great, fantastic. Turned his life around.
Yeah, well, tell us why he's turned his life around.
Well, because his trailer looks really nice
in comparison to
everything else.
Fire Walk with Me.
Yeah.
He's like a really kind of a rundown trailer.
Yeah, but it's like nice.
Yeah.
And like the other trailers are actually looking kind of nice in the trailer park. I'd like to point out that Ben Horne has also turned his life around. The people that I think are coupled is him and that guy from the Fat Trout.
Gotcha.
So I feel like they're both kind of like on a pretty good track.
Oh, that's right. You were talking. This is a good point to mention. So you kind of think of Carl, I believe his name is.
Yeah.
Carl, the old man playing the guitar, is sort of linked to Benjamin Horne.
Yeah.
Because he's
not the opposite, but he's
a parallel.
Yeah.
Because in Fire Walk with Me, we saw a lot of parallel characters.
Yes.
And if Benjamin Horne is running a place with lots of people to stay at,
a lot of rooms.
The manager of the trailer court is doing the same thing.
Exactly.
And we also forgot to talk about this cool coincidence or not.
Coincidence?
But when Richard runs over that poor kid in the truck, that seems to take place at the same corner from Fire Walk with Me. With Laura and her father, and then Mike, one-armed Mike runs up and is yelling at the ring and stuff like that. And so it's very jarring for them. And he's also kind of taking his truck.
Yeah, he's circling them.
He's circling, going really, really fast.
Yeah.
So assuming we are correct about that being the same location,
looks like the same place.
What do you think's going on there?
I don't know. It's interesting that he does the same maneuver. You know what I mean?
Going around.
Like he goes around everybody and goes up to the front. And there were trucks there. Remember, they're waiting in line with the trucks.
Yeah.
So that's interesting too. I don't know. I feel like it just symbolizes like innocent lives are going to be lost.
Gotcha.
Kind of thing.
And almost like a
warning.
I was going to say this, like this cycle keeps happening, right? Yeah.
Keeps coming around.
We haven't talked too much about the Mitchum Brothers and the 3 cocktail waitresses or assistants, whatever they are.
I don't know, but I love
them. And Candie is the one that we noticed the most. So tell us what you think about these ladies.
I like the brothers. I kind of like the brothers. Mm-hmm. They're like scumbags, but they're not really.
They seem like old-time gangsters. Gangsters that never really existed except in like 1930s movies.
Yeah. And then
we're gonna rough them up.
And then they like kind of chilled out. Like they're chill. Like they're not gonna do anything unless they're very provoked.
Yeah.
And so I kind of like that. I like it. And I like their 3 helpers that they've hired. I also feel like there's no sexual interaction between the brothers and the 3. I feel like there's nothing, like they've never even thought of that.
Yeah.
Like in their minds, that's not even a concept.
Yeah. It's like, no, these are just the girls.
These are the dames.
They make drinks for us, and they go get them, Candie.
Go get them, Candie.
Go get them downstairs.
And she's like really bad at it. Like Candie's so good. She like hits him. He gets a scar, and he's like, no, it's okay. Yeah. And she's like, how are you ever gonna forgive me? And he's like,
I think she says, how are you ever gonna love me again?
Yeah.
But I still don't think that they're in a relationship with any of them.
No.
Yeah.
I don't think it's anything like that. I don't get, like, you should be getting that vibe.
Yeah, but I don't get that vibe.
I haven't seen them touch them.
Yeah.
I haven't seen them, like, walk up.
Yeah, and David Lynch has so many other bad guy characters where they just like, I'm going to grab you and take what I want.
Yeah, no,
and
they're
these guys
like
are not.
very gentlemanly, and they're like, if you fire, where's she going to go?
Yeah, she's got no place to go if you fire her. So what are we going to do?
We just hide. I feel like they're kind of like nice businessmen. You know what I mean? Like they're kind of like a good boss to have.
Well, I'm not sure.
Like, the casino seems to be going fairly well, even
they
though
have
they lost
the casino
all
is
their
a
money.
legit business.
Yeah. They paid out correctly.
The one insurance guy said that their old casino was ruled as arson, but I just don't know if it really was arson, and if it was, did they start that?
Yeah, I kind of feel like it might have just been an accident. There's a lot of smoking that goes on in casinos. I don't think they would burn down their own building.
Yeah.
Based on what I've seen of them, they seem pretty legit.
But at the same time, it seems like they're headed towards...
They're headed towards murder.
Yeah. So
or attempted murder.
Do you think that...
Part of me thinks that they're not even going to try and kill Dale Cooper. I think they're just gonna kind of talk to him. I know they kicked that guy a bunch. Yeah.
So you don't think that they don't pose a real danger to Dale Cooper at this time? All right.
I don't think so.
My wife was wondering if the girls are drugged.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I like the theory because they're really weird.
Yeah.
But I kind of just think they're odd.
Yeah.
And that's part of their charm.
I did pose the idea that maybe Candie
might
who's
be
the
high.
most space case of them. No, not that she's high, but maybe she has been
to the one
of the lodges.
Yeah.
And kind of like Dale Cooper, she's just kind of
that's just anyone.
But she does come out of the stupor to speak in complete sentences.
Yeah.
And Dale Cooper
she tells him about the weather
and things
that they saw right before they turned to the news story about Dale.
Yes.
About Dougie. Which I liked.
Yeah. So towards the end of this episode, then we get more information about Diane, which we talked about at the beginning of our discussion. But Cole and Albert are they're going to keep her close. Yeah. But an interesting and strange thing happens when Gordon answers the door, opens up the door. Yeah. He sees Laura Palmer crying,
which is another.
And we hear Laura's mother calling for her. Mm-hmm. What's going on with that?
I felt like that was just another Laura interacting with the real world kind of thing, giving a push in the right direction.
Yeah.
Maybe it's something about the information. This is kind of why I don't think that Diane is actually a bad guy or sent that text, because Laura's crying. She opens the door and she turns around, and I feel like Laura's probably trying to tell our friend, I can't remember what his name is. Gordon Cole. Yeah. That no, it's actually, this isn't about Diane kind of thing. This might be about Tammy.
So that's Laura's way of saying you're going in the wrong direction with this.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Exactly.
And the more we were talking about Laura's sort of
presence,
angelic or ghostly or otherworldly influence, the more we were starting to wonder if things like any of Dale Cooper's lucky coincidences.
Right.
So seeing the little... the little floating things, the image of the red curtains and the little jazzy music over the casinos. Because we were thinking maybe it was Mike who was doing it, or something was doing it.
Or Cooper himself.
Yeah,
I still like
Cooper's intuition, which makes sense for things like taking down Spike the Ike.
Yes.
Ike the Spike.
Yes.
Ike the Spike.
Ike the Spike.
Yeah, so that seems to be Dale Cooper's intuition kicking back in, and the many other things. But things like the slot machine, I don't know.
Was it a part of Laura, but Dale was able to receive?
Yeah. And also, the funny thing about that is we haven't seen what that money is going to be used for.
Yeah.
Right? Because so far, he could have just been wandering around. You know, I guess what the money has been used for so far is to get the attention of the Mitchum brothers.
Yeah.
The debt has been paid off,
The
but
debt
that
has
was
been
only
paid.
50,000, and
Yeah.
she paid 25,000.
She-
I love that with the way
she's
that
great.
Janie
She's
haggles
great.
with the
She's
deadbeats.
like, you'd be lucky to get 1% at a bank.
Yeah. So getting the money has, I guess, impressed the wife, Janie.
Yes.
Paid off a little bit, some
I
debt
mean, they
with
were
it.
able to go to the doctor, finally.
Yes, but that didn't do anything good for them.
It didn't do anything
Except it showed us that Kyle MacLachlan is ripped.
He's smoking.
Yeah.
The dude's looking good.
Yeah.
He's looking good.
Yeah,
I'm proud of him.
So good
for
job,
him.
Kyle and Dale Cooper.
Good
And
job.
it's very funny because Janie's kind of starting to look at him for the first time, and then they have a romantic evening.
The doctor's
together.
like, let me look. Yeah. Oh yeah, you're good.
Yeah, you look great. Yeah, so the doctor's never worried about his mental.
Not gonna ask him mental health. No one.
He's not like, what year is this? Like nothing.
Yeah, nothing of the sort.
No
need for it. But I also, this motion came up a lot in the last 2 episodes that we watched, 9 and 10.
Yeah,
and I loved that because the mom of Bobby does this when they come in.
That's right.
I was going to talk to police, and then
you love it when these
I
characters
love
do
it.
that. When
I
they
love it.
Talk to the hand.
Well, because it's so funny. I haven't seen it in other shows. They do it so much in this show, and they're like, I was going to talk to police, and I feel like it's something, but it's probably not. But I like it.
I'm guessing it's a mannerism of David Lynch.
Where it's just like this.
And then the actors kind of pick up on it. He might even tell them to stop.
Tell him to stop.
Yeah, and then they pick up on it.
I love that.
You should, when we're all done with this, Naomi Watts plays Janie E. And she worked with him on Mulholland Drive.
Nice.
And she does a pretty funny David Lynch impersonation. Yeah.
Nice.
So we'll have to watch that.
We'll have to watch that one.
Oh, Sonny Jim has a rude awakening hearing his mother.
His father's name.
Yeah. And so I don't know what would be worse, if he knows what's going on or if he thinks that his dad's being yelled at.
To think his dad's being yelled at.
Okay.
But I don't know. I don't know what.
It's awkward either way.
Yeah.
One more thing to talk about. So we have another phone call to Deputy Hawk.
Oh, they also took
lady.
the prints, so we're gonna find out who Dale Cooper's fingerprints are. We didn't say that.
Oh, that's right. They get Dale Cooper's fingerprints.
Yeah. Yeah, and his DNA.
That's right. That's it. They're gonna make more clones, maybe.
Oh no.
Yeah. So the log lady comes back into the scene, and she says things like the dream of time and space. She says things like the dream of time and space, and other things that I didn't write down.
Yeah.
But she says Laura is the one.
Yeah.
What's going on with that?
I do think that it's kind of tying into my theory of. Whoa! Okay. Nice. We both sneezed this episode. Wow, that one was large. The chair moved. I was worried that the floor was about to cave. I don't know. There was something about the chair. He shake. Oh, Hawkeye didn't.
I think I'm ready to hear your answer now.
Okay. So I feel like it kind of coincides with my theory of Laura is the answer in that Laura has not. I was thinking about this, and we were talking about good and evil, good versus evil kind of thing, and I was thinking about it more, and I don't know that it is good versus evil.
Okay.
I think it is kind of good versus evil.
All right.
But not in the defined boundaries of good versus evil.
Okay.
Because Bob is sporadic, and I feel like Laura is sporadic as well in the same nature.
All right.
And they counteract each other, not in that one is pure good and that one is pure evil, but that they're both human in a way. They're both different choices.
Okay.
And that Laura is this intention for good. That there's an intention for good behind her. And it doesn't always work out.
Sure.
But there's always this intention for good. The same way Bob always has an intention for evil, and that there's fun in evil, and that there's something to be gained from evil. And I was thinking about it as Laura's not the best of us, but she is leading the way. Does that make sense?
A little bit. I'm curious though, because you said it's not necessarily good, not necessarily evil, but the way you described them, it sounded like Laura was pretty good,
right, and
Bob was pretty evil.
Yeah, but it's not exactly pure good kind of thing.
Well, it seems like if we look at the life of Laura, there's a lot of ups and downs.
Yeah, but there's also a lot of good.
There's a lot of good. There's
I mean, I was talking about Johnny when we were watching. I was like, Johnny's life went down after Laura died.
Yeah. No, she seemed like she was a good person that was affected by the trauma.
Yeah.
And so made bad choices that were usually self-destructive to her. Sometimes a bad influence on Donna.
Yeah.
And sometimes toying with the hearts of people like James and Bobby.
Right. And also sometimes being a part of a community and doing food pass outs and tutoring.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
But I almost see those things like Meals on Wheels and helping Josie as almost sort of like I gotta do this. I gotta, almost like, I don't know.
I just gotta keep going.
Yeah, I don't know that the Meals on Wheels is like I'm going to help the world.
Well, I don't think that she feels that way, but I think that has the effect of that.
Well, again, I think that I love her character, and I think that she is very positive, and I have a lot of sympathy for her. But if we really think of what's shown to us in the first season, we see the ripple effects.
Yeah.
And we see things that, when Bobby's crying to Dr. Jacoby back in season 1, he's basically that
she raped him.
You were, that's right.
I was like, oh God, Bobby.
What did she do to him?
Yeah.
And I don't think that happened to him. But I think that she was probably kind of pushing him into buying drugs, selling drugs, kind of doing those things.
Yeah.
And of course, Bobby is responsible for his own actions.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that's what's interesting about Laura being the one.
Right. That's why I don't think she's that good.
Well, no, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Is that she's when we see her as like the golden ball and stuff like that, there's this idea like, oh, she's really good. And it just seems like, oh, she's human.
Yeah.
She's very human. And Bob doesn't have, like, if Laura has a lot of really good qualities rooted in kindness and in goodness, but then has some negative aspects to her, I don't know that I've ever seen Bob. Musicals. Well, see, here's the thing. It's fun. Like, who's Bob and who's Leland?
Yeah, that's the issue.
So when in Fire Walk with Me, when Leland comes in and says, "I love you, Laura," and I'm assuming that's not Bob saying those things,
right?
Yeah,
we don't know.
So and if Mr. C is with Bob, we're not seeing some. It's like, wow, Mr. C's really bad, but you know what?
He gave a homeless man $50.
Yeah, you know what? He found a lost dog, a nice home, right? So I mean,
he might have.
But we're not seeing those things.
We're waiting to see that three-legged dog.
So I think what we're seeing from the Bob-related kind of characters are self-centered socio-psychopath.
Yeah.
Kind of like very, very rooted in what they can get and taking pleasure, if either apathetic to the suffering of others or sometimes taking pleasure in the suffering of others.
And I don't, to time back in with my Laura, Bob versus Bob idea, I don't think that Laura is that bad.
Yeah.
I feel like all of the things that are bad or caused by her were not really caused by her.
Well, it seems like Bob was trying to infiltrate her.
And so the bad things in Laura's life are kind of because of Bob.
Yeah. No, I think so.
And the good things in Bob's life is because of Laura.
Well, good things in Bob's life, such as
Laura.
Oh, okay.
And the ability to do things.
Yeah. Well, the interesting thing is, and again, I don't quite understand the Leland / Bob versus Mr. C / Bob. Yeah. I know that he's a doppelganger. It seems like he's got Bob in him, but it doesn't seem like he's acting like Bob. It's a manufactured doppelganger person.
Yeah. So it's interesting when Laura is created in this little bubble.
Yeah.
It's in this black and white world, and she is not black and white.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like she's not black and white. So it's more of it's other.
Yeah.
It's other to the people that made her.
Yeah.
And so it's good, but it's not as pure as white, and it's not as dark as black.
Yeah.
So it's different. It's not
Yeah.
It's not.
Well, what's interesting is that it seems like, because last time we were talking about it, I had said like that Laura is kind of a martyr.
Yeah.
Character. Because she's put on the earth and she stops Bob. You were saying she stops Bob, and maybe stops Bob from doing really terrible things on a humanity-sized level. But the way she's presented as that golden, orb that gets a kiss from the lady and then sent down, it seems like that there's a power to Laura that maybe hasn't come into fruition completely
yet. There's more to Laura.
Yeah. And the more we kind of see her in the lodges or the waiting rooms, and now at the door.
But she's gaining more power.
Yeah. I do like the idea that the angel that we see in Fire Walk With Me is her. Yeah. Even though it's different actors.
Well, because it's also like it could be her in the future.
That's right.
Now we know the lodges don't have time.
Yes.
I also loved Andy and Lucy talking about how they lost track of time.
That's right.
That
Lucy
was so
and
good.
Andy.
There's so much to the story that comes from Lucy and Andy.
Yeah.
Like they bring up so much.
Lucy's just kind of casually talking about the clock stopped.
Yeah.
And they didn't know what time.
And we didn't know what time.
And so you could see that as just like the crazy Brennans. But it could also be that they lost track. That time lost track of them.
Yeah.
Right? That
they were just
maybe they stepped in. Who knows what happens in Twin Peaks? I still think Carl, the manager of the trailer, has been
to the lodge.
I think he's been to the lodge. I think he's been someplace.
I think that's why he can survive 75 years of smoking.
I think so.
It's part of it.
I think so. Well, we gotta watch some more of these. All right. Okay, everybody. We're gonna stop here.
Stop. I was going to come.
And then we're going to watch some more Twin Peaks, and we'll be back in no time at all for us.
For us.
But for you, it might take a while.